Thaddius. Thaddius, the last wing of Abu Wing. It's a bit of a special encounter, but if everyone pays attention to their own, another like play your game or go home type of boss, like pay attention to yourself and not to your neighbor, and then everything should be smooth. Thaddius has a very large health pool, 6.7 million HP. As we enter the room, there will be like platform. Wait, draw online. There we go. As we enter the room, there will be two platforms on the left and the right side. It's not very aligned, but whatever. And then something like this. So as we enter the room, there will be two bosses on this. Two like mini bosses before we deal with Thaddius in the middle. We'll have to split the raid left and right into two groups as sorry, there we go, as the bosses are stationed far from each other and you can't take them away from their power source. Here we go. Stalak, both Stalak and Fugan both have a 1500 physical damage stomp, which does not stun, but it's only melee range, so stay away from it. Stalak will have a random wait, in addition, Stalak will randomly get a buff called Power Surge, which increases attack speed by 200%, so that needs to be healed through. He will break the normal rules for crushing blows, which means everything will be a crushing blow except if it's dodged, parried or blocked. So healers, play your game. For Fugan, it has an AoE mana drain ability plus the War Stomp I mentioned, so we only want melee on there, unless hunters and mages, if the groups are unfairly divided, because they can outrange it. So Fugan, mana drain and the stomp, careful healers. Stalak, stomp and increased damage done to the tank, so keep him up. Why can't we move them away from the Tesla? Basically, if they do, they get a kind of minion rage and then they wipe the raid. They need to die at the same time. They are both vulnerable to taunt, and one additional tactic is they will knock the tank to the other platform every so often. So every 20 seconds they will knock their tank that's tanking them to the other platform, and then they have to switch. Then the tanks basically have to switch ad. That's all there's to it. Before we get to the boss, let's start with checking that out. So here we pull the boss. This is Stalak. As you can see, there's almost no melee here. They're all casters because the other one, Fugan, mana drains. They stand at a max distance. He will do the stomp. This is the beam from the Tesla that we don't want to like pull them away from, so you can't pull them to each other. At 2.5 in 2 seconds, 1 second now, they will throw the tanks to the other side, so you see the tank flying over and then the other tank comes here. Instantly taunt, they're tauntable. And then the fight continues. They won't aggro on someone else in the meanwhile. Power Surge, increased damage, so need to be healed. That's the stomp. Didn't reach the ranged. Again, divide the groups fairly so that they die at the same time, but try not to have casters on the mana drain one, which is Fugan. Switch to tanks again. And then they get finished. Not all that hard, fairly simple. I don't think we're gonna actually wipe on this. Only important part is don't over aggro, don't try to like brute force it, think you have to do insane damage. If you over aggro these mobs and they run down the platform, they will like minion rage and kill everyone. So tank and taunt, finish them at the same time. Might need to call DPS stop on one because that one is behind, but should be fairly the same speed. Then I'm gonna show this for a sec. As you can see, there's like a room between the platform and the place where we find Thaddius. You can fall down here, and then you'll have to run all the way back through the slime. The slime does the same thing as a patchwork, lowers your stats. You have to run all the way back and do the jump again. You'll be late to the fight, it will be annoying. I'll explain what you have to do if it happens, but no one should try to make it happen. You jump at the very last moment. If you're not good at jumping, bring some swiftness pots so you get some speed. It's quite a distance, and there's always someone failing, to be honest. You just jump at the very last moment, don't run in it, please, and don't fail. Here you'll see that a person failed, which sucks. the strategy then for Thaddius, phase 2. So what are his abilities? Every 30 seconds, Thaddius will give everyone in the raid either a positive or a negative charge. This appears in the form as a debuff. You'll see a plus or a minus on your debuff list. It will be half-half, so half the raid will have plus, half the raid will have minus, and every 5 second charge, every 5 seconds you have that debuff, I'm sorry, you will deal 2000 nature damage to all people that have the opposite charge. So if you have negative charge, then you will do 2000 damage every 5 seconds to everyone who's near you with a positive charge, and the other way around. This is within 10 yards, so it's a very small range, but if people stand on top of each other, it will fuck it up. How will we deal with this? Well, basically, we're just gonna stand on 2 different locations for the plus, the negative, and the positive charge. Looking in detail, this will mean we'll form a group here, and we'll form a group here. At the start of fight, we'll just basically gather here. So this is a start of fight. People jump, and you go to in front of Thaddius. So you jump in front of Thaddius, and then we will go left and right. I will not call out now in the video yet what side will be what, but let's for like demonstration purposes just use minus here and plus here. So everyone who gets the plus charge goes over there, everyone gets the minus charge goes over there. You stand stacked on each other at max range of the boss. Why stacked on each other, you'll ask? Because some are ranged and they might want to go even further. No, because you'll have to switch sides sometimes, and also you're increasing everyone else's damage. What does this mean? Basically, if you have a plus, just as you damage people of your other charge, you will buff people of the same charge. So potentially you can have 19 stacks, because half of the raid will have the same one as you, which will add 190 more damage to your group, to your side, to your debuff. Thaddius also has a chain lightning attack which he will use throughout the fight, but it won't do that much damage, not much to deal with. If no one's in melee range, he will start throwing balls, but that shouldn't happen either. And after 5 minutes in phase 2, he will enrage and kill the entire raid. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. So the tank won't take too much damage. You can heal this with 3 to 4 healers, so the rest of the healers should probably DPS and only heal when needed, like the tank and the raid. Other than that, there's a specific way of dealing with the swap of the every 30 seconds. So if we clear this page for a sec, if we look at more like in detail, like where Thaddius is standing, like imagine that we're fighting here, and this is where Thaddius is standing. So Thaddius is standing over here, and then we have a group over here and a group over here. Max range, like from melee, obviously. Gathered. Let's say minus here, plus there. Again, this is not decided, it's just for demonstration purposes. Every 30 seconds he will switch your polarity, so you will go from minus to plus, or you will keep your minus. If you're standing here, you keep your minus, you stay still. If you are standing here, you get your plus, you stay still. If after 30 seconds it switches, then everyone who will keep plus will stay here, but everyone else will have to run to the opposite side. In a lot of tactics they say use the fastest way and go through the boss. But a lot of us have learned that latency matters a lot, and people tend to be slow or not notice or be stupid, aka Baron Geddon in MC. After 2 years, still people exploding on people. So we're not going to do that. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to run around the boss counterclockwise. So obviously here's the ledge and here's the wall, so you can't go further than the wall and you can't jump off the ledge, but you will take the maximum range you can take, run to the opposite side, to the plus side if you switch polarity. Same thing here. Tank as well, you can just turn him nicely and then he will face the other way. That's basically the entire fight. You will get 190% increased damage if everyone survives, and you will do 2k damage to everyone around you who is the different polarity. Looking at the fight quickly, because I've been recording this video for quite a while now. Polarity shift. So as you see, everyone standing in front of the boss. This is the front. Minus left, plus right. It's saying it in say. He changes polarity. Look at the debuff. This one gets minus. He moves left. People decide where they have to go. So everyone takes max range, and then the polarity is applied. He has 18 buffs, which means 18 people are standing on top of him with the same polarity. They DPS. Then you have Chain Lightning. Thaddius is tauntable and also over aggroable. As you might know, 190% increased damage will give you a lot more aggro, so try to stay under the tanks. Obviously the tank will get a buff as well, which will be more damage. Change of polarity after 30 seconds. As you see, people run around a circle and counterclockwise to the other side, and then they get the new debuff. The range is quite far that people can stand at. Range, you don't want to do this and go stand here, because if you do that, you'll have to run a lot further to get around, or you're gonna have to stay out and not be able to like buff your group. If you were late on the jump and you fell in the water and you have to come back, you'll wait outside until you have the same polarity than the side you're on. So you will stay here. If you have plus, you will wait out until you get minus, and then you move in the group. Again, change of polarity, they run around the other side. Polarity gets applied, and then the fight continues. That's basically the entire thing. He has a lot of HP, so you need the buffs. That's why you need to stack to not hit the enrage timer. Chain Lightning obviously needs to be healed. It does quite a bit of damage, but nature protection potions and the healers, which are free since the main tank doesn't take a lot of damage, should be enough. Again, polarity switch, people go counterclockwise around the boss to the opposite side. And that's the fight.